Jag har min nästan vid lätta.
Jag får hålla den så här då.
Ja.
Ja. Om jag vill prata. Hörde du mig? Nu hörde du mig?
Ja. Ja.
All right, we're gonna go fly and have some fun.
Det är normalt att titta rakt fram. Har du den på som du ska ha? Pass på oss.
All right, nice smooth thing. I'll start the flights. We're going to be flying over the forest here about another 8 minutes or so. We're going to be flying over the Kaibab National Forest, about 300 feet above the ground or 90 meters above the ground. Because we will be so low, you want to keep your eyes out for elk and deer. They all throughout this forest. They all said there's mountain lions, bobcats, cougars, and black bears too. Keep an eye out for them as well. They're very shy animals, so if you do see one, count yourself very lucky because they're pretty rarely seen. Hanging on for dear life. Handle's better than my shoulder, I think. You'll see burn areas in the forest like this from time to time. These are controlled burns done by the Forest Service in preparation for the wildfire season, which we're currently in right now. We're in the monsoon season, which is where we get a lot of thunderstorms in the afternoon. Those can lead to lightning strikes, so they get rid of the dry parts of the forest in hopes that if there is a lightning strike, it'll hopefully sit there and smolder and burn itself out instead of setting fire to the rest of the forest. Worked out pretty well for us last year, so hopefully this year will be just as good. Have you guys had a chance to check out the Grand Canyon? Or is this going to be the first time setting eyes on the canyon?
No, the first time.
First time. So you didn't walk along the rim or anything?
I think so.
Oh, you did? Okay. Same for y'all?
Yeah, we can walk along the rim.
Okay, cool. Well, we're going to get you a nice bird's eye view of the Grand Canyon today. We fly to parts of the canyon that you can't even hike to or you can't even travel to. And the clouds are starting to clear up, which means that our pictures will turn out really good. Like I said, take as many pictures as you want, but every once in a while put that camera down just so you can take in the view of the Grand Canyon. As good as the pictures will be, as good as they'll turn out, it will never quite do the Grand Canyon justice. So, like I said, put the camera down every once in a while so you can just take it all in.
A little turbulent.
Say what?
It's a little turbulent.
Oh, this is actually pretty calm. It's usually the most turbulent in the afternoon, which we are in the middle of right now, but today has been very, very calm for us today. which is good. If you start to feel sick or queasy, we do have souvenir bags located all throughout the helicopter. You got those in front of you. Same thing with you, John. And then you guys have souvenir bags right here for you in case you get sick. If you have to use them, please move that mic first from your mouth and then use the bag.
I'll just bend over forward in front of me and do it, okay?
In the back of my shirt. We can, let's pass on that. Maybe I should have moved you over there to that window.
You're not gonna hit real high G's now, are you?
No, we're not. We're going to keep it nice and smooth today. No barrel rolls or backflips, unfortunately.
Those are fun, though.
Yeah, they are. The helicopter doesn't enjoy them so much, especially the engine. So we're not going to do any damage to the helicopter today.
So how many days a week do you fly?
We fly a pretty cool schedule. We work 7 days on and then we have 7 days off. So I pretty much get 2 weeks off every month, which is cool. Because of that, it allows all of us, all the pilots, to kind of live wherever we want to. For me, home is Phoenix, 3-hour drive south from here. That's where I grew up. We do have some other pilots that live in Los Angeles, so they drive 9 hours to go home. A few other guys in Salt Lake City in northern Utah, which is about an 8.5-hour drive. And we have another guy who lives in Wyoming, and he drives 10 hours just to come to work. So
then they house you when you're here for those 2 months.
They do, yeah. They provide us housing, and of course, we don't really drive around, so our cars just kind of sit for 7 days, and then we go back home, and I just hang out with my friends and my girlfriend for 7 days. So pretty cool.
No space to rent in this town. You're out of luck.
And if you haven't noticed, the Grand Canyon's on the left-hand side of the helicopter. Really hard to miss that giant hole in the ground there.
Traffic is stuck, and you're not moving anywhere. You thought you found a friend to take you out of this place. Someone you can lend a hand in return for.
We're heading over to a point called Popco Point, which is about our 11 o'clock position there. When we reach that, we'll be about 50 feet above the ground, or 15 meters above the ground. Then we'll reach the rim and the ground drop right underneath us will be 5,000 feet or 1,500 meters above the ground. So very abrupt change in altitude, very weird sensation. I always recommend putting the cameras down just because you can't really capture that feeling on camera. But once we get into the canyon, I'm going to slow it down for us, and you'll have plenty of time to take some really good pictures today.
Channel right in front of you. See the canyons broken by cloud. See the tuna fleets clearing the sea out. See the bedroom fires at night. See the oil fields at first light. And see the bird with a leaf in her mouth. After the flood, all the colors came out. A beautiful day. Don't let it get away. Beautiful day.
Pretty nice in the afternoon here. Got the sun hitting the canyon at an angle, causing all these peaks to cast shadows. Also the shadows from the clouds kind of give it a little bit more three-dimensional look to them too.
Oh no, we're gonna fall off the edge.
All right, here we go, guys. Going to the canyon in
God.
3, 2,
Oh my God.
1.
Oh.
Welcome to the Grand Canyon. I'll slow it down here to about 125 miles per hour. It's about 230 kilometers an hour. Doesn't feel like we're going that fast though. Feels like you're just floating in a bubble across the canyon.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's unlike anything else. You have the Colorado River down there at the bottom flowing from right to left or east to west. It doesn't look that big, but it's about 300 feet wide or 90 meters wide, about 110 feet deep or 35 meters deep. And you can't go rafting down the Colorado River, so you might see a few rafts or boats on the water from time to time. If you do see them, note their size. They look like they're about this big from our altitude, but they're the same size as this helicopter. So that gives you a good idea of how small we are compared to everything else. We got the north rim of the canyon in front of us and to the left. The south rim is the one to the right and behind us. Got a pointy peak off to our left there called the Vishnu Temple. Beyond it lies a flat mesa called the Wotan Throne. We got 3 more peaks off our nose. They're named after Roman gods and goddesses. The one close to us with the flat white top, that's the Apollo Temple. Beyond that lies the Venus Temple. And the bigger one with the white peak on top, that's the Jupiter Temple.
I saw somewhere in a book where the Pueblo Indians had like granaries.
The what?
Had granaries in the side of the cliff where they stored their food.
Yeah, they I think they call those granaries. There's not so many over here, but when we get closer to the north rim, kind of a little bit further upstream, there's a trail called the Nanquit Trail that goes from the north rim down to the river. And it actually goes by some of those ruins. And you can see like cave paintings and those petroglyphs as well as pieces of pottery within those areas too. So those ancient Indians, their tribe name was the Anasazi tribe, which they're no longer with us today. And no one really knows who the direct descendants are because there are 4 Native American tribes that surround the Grand Canyon. You got the Navajo to the southeast, to the southwest. You got the Havasupai Indian tribe as well as the Wallapai, and then you also have the Paiute Indians who live along the north rim of the canyon.
Now, will we be able to see that today, or?
We won't be able to see it from our altitude. That stuff's going to be really, really tiny. You see all these, what look like bushes at the bottom of all these valleys here? These are all juniper trees, and they get to be about 30 feet tall or 10 meters tall. So that kind of gives you a good idea as to how small we are, and I guess how big everything really is compared to us.
No, I think they said from up here you could see the Painted Desert somewhere.
Oh yeah, the Painted Desert is actually off to our distance, which is about the 2 o'clock position over there. That's the Navajo Indian Reservation. You actually see off our nose there's a round mountain way off in the distance there. That's Navajo Mountain over there.
Okay.
So that's where like a Monument Valley is and stuff like that is over there. A lot of John Wayne Western films were filmed over there. Got a large cliff face in front of us and to the right there called the Palisades of the Desert. That's the tallest vertical drop going straight from the rim of the canyon down to the bottom of the river. That's 4,000 feet tall or 1,400 meters tall.
Wow.
If you took the Empire State Building and stacked it on top of itself 4 times, it would barely reach the top of that cliff face. Or if you took the Eiffel Tower and stacked it on top of itself 5 times, it would barely reach the top of that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Doesn't look that big, but if you were rafting down the river, that'd be towering really high above you. And I've never done the rafting trips down the river, but it's definitely on the bucket list. I think it'd be amazing just to see what it's like down at the bottom of the canyon looking up.
Yeah, you should do that sometime while you're still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, being only 24, you got to worry about that right now there, buddy.
Oh my.
You'll see a trail that goes over to a point to the left called Cape Solitude. That gives you a view of the confluences, which is where the Colorado River and the Little Colorado River meet.
Where is that? I'm sorry.
It's off to our left now. We're actually going to swing around it. You'll get a good view of the confluence.
Oh.
This is the Little Colorado River Gorge. It branches off from the Grand Canyon, going for several miles on end. You can see it gets really narrow to the right there. That is the point where the trapeze artist did the tightrope walk from one edge of the canyon to the next on that thin cable. So,
Where did Evel Knievel jump?
Evel Knievel actually did not jump over the Grand Canyon, as a lot of people think.
I remember that now. It was somewhere else.
Yeah, it was I think it was up in Idaho, like Idaho Springs or something like that. But hey, you set yourself up a big enough ramp, you could do that on your motorcycle.
Maybe on mine, not on the one they loaned me. They rented me.
We got the painted desert there off to our nose, named so because of the myriad of colors that comprise of the desert there. And then that mound of a mountain there off in the distance, that's Navajo Mountain now off of our nose.
Okay.
Wave after wave, wave after wave, slowly drifting. And it feels like I'm drowning, pulling against the stream, pulling against the wave. Wave after wave, wave after wave.
The rivers, both the Colorado River and the Little Colorado River, are currently a muddy brown color. That's because we've had a lot of rainfall lately, and when that rain hits the canyon wall, it brings a bunch of dirt down to the bottom, and then that dirt stains the rivers that muddy brown color. The Colorado River itself is usually a dark green from the algae that it brings with it further upstream from Glen Canyon Dam. The Little Colorado River, which is the one that we're flying over right now, it's actually like a turquoise color because there's a mineral within it called travertine. That travertine mixes with the chemical in the water, and it creates a bright blue dye, which makes that river that color. So if you've seen pictures of like Havasupai Falls or Mooney Falls, it's the exact same phenomenon that happens there. This will probably take about a month or so for it to clear out, and we got pretty much rain forecast every afternoon for the next 2 months, so it'll be a while before these rivers go back to their true color. We will cross over the Colorado River, get 2 good photo opportunities. You on the right get a view of the river coming towards us with the buttes and mesas to the left of the river and the canyon wall to the south rim to the right-hand side of the river. On the left you get the confluence, Chula Butte and Cape Solitude, and the river going downstream from our position.
Oh my gosh, do they actually let you just drive all the way out here?
Oh yeah. That's all on the Navajo Indian Reservation. You have to pay a small fee to drive on their, to get the permits to drive on their land. It might be a little bit rough with the motorcycle unless you're driving a dirt bike or something.
Yeah. You guys ever lose anybody off the sides?
I mean, there's definitely people who have fallen off the side of the Grand Canyon. I think on average we get about like 30 to 50 people that do. Some of them are on purpose, and then others are accident.
Oh, is that a year or over?
That's per year.
Wow.
Yeah, we get a lot of visitors that come over to the Grand Canyon, so.
Well, I'll tell you what, just even walking along the rim at the park at the south rim there, some of the people were letting their kids just sit right up on top of that. It gets you a nervous wreck.
Yeah, it makes me really nervous walking along the rim. I'm not really afraid of heights, but I'm afraid of falling to my death. So whenever I walk to the rim, my knees start to get weak and my hands get clammy, you know, so.
Yeah.
I can't deal with that. the Quagga Butte there to the right. Beyond it is a small brown rock formation set on top of a red bed of sand. That's called Fish Rock. Just to use your imagination, it looks like a fish went on his belly looking to the left towards us. Tail's pointing to the right there.
Yeah.
It's about the 2 o'clock low. See that brown rock on the red sand there? Right there.
Yeah.
You see it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good. Our pastor
I
said he
see
couldn't
it.
see it, then claimed that I was on drugs, so just got to make sure, got to clarify.
Now what's this pyramid-like thing right here?
This guy right there, they're kind of like, it's white color and then it's black on top. That is called the Nankoy Butte right there. And the top of that is just kind of like a lava rock type of deal. And then the beigeish color underneath that is is what's called the Bright Angel Shale. So it's a shale type of rock.
Now, a lot of the formations here are formed by when this was ocean over it.
Yeah, a lot of it's, so the canyon itself started forming about 300 million years ago. The Colorado River was a lot bigger than it is now, and it just got water carved its way and kind of eroded away all these rock layers that you see here. So that's the age of the canyon itself. As far as the rock layers, there's definitely older ones than that. The oldest layer of rock's at the very bottom of the canyon. It's a black rock called the Vishnu Schist, which geologists say is about 1.7 billion years old. The youngest layer of rock's at the top of the canyon. It's a white rock called the Kaibab Limestone. That's about 250 million years old. So a pretty big change in age within the Grand Canyon.
Where's the lodge? Isn't there a lodge somewhere down here?
Yeah, there's a lodge called the Phantom Ranch, and it's in the Bright Angel Corridor, which is around the corner to the left.
Oh, okay.
So we're not going to fly over that because that's actually a flight-free zone. I can't fly over there, which is good because a lot of people come to the Grand Canyon, visit it, and the places that they visit and hike down into the canyon are all within that Bright Angel flight-free zone. So that keeps us, out of those areas, and it
Right.
prevents people from getting upset with. Because you want to come to the Grand Canyon, you don't want a bunch of, noise from helicopters flying above you.
Right.
But in my opinion, it's a win-win situation. We don't fly over there, so people are happy. We fly to different parts of the canyon, kind of circle around it. So, like I said, we see parts that those people don't get to see, so it works itself out. And we're going to fly along my favorite part of the tour where we hug the north rim of the two halves. North rim's my favorite because you got all the dark green of the trees in contrast to the dark red, the Supa groups, redwood limestone. Make a beautiful color contrast there.
It is beautiful.
And we're going to fly up this valley here called Nankoy Valley and get surrounded by all these peaks, have some more good photo opportunities in this area as well.
Wow. Like this good rock formation. Or it looks like.
There's a lot of unique rock formations here in the Grand Canyon. A lot of pillars kind of sticking up. Some people say this kind of looks like a city, which I could see that as well.
Yeah, what's this one sticking up here to the right?
That one that's set up all by itself, that's called Mount Hayden. That one is actually the most climbed peak within the entire canyon, so a lot of people do rock climb on that. They don't really rock climb anywhere else because there's not a whole lot of good rock climbing or really any accessible rock climbing besides Mount Hayden. So from the base of that peak where the trees stop to the top, that is about 30 stories tall or 300 feet tall. That's about 100 meters tall there.
You need a special permit to do that in the park?
You do, yeah. To the right of Mount Hayden, there's a small clearing in the trees on top of the north rim. That is Point Imperial, which is the tallest point within the entire Grand Canyon. That's 9,000 feet above sea level, or 3,000 meters above sea level. And there's a highway on the north rim you can drive on that takes you from point to point along the north rim, and Point Imperial is one of those places you can stop at. Got a big peak off our nose there called a battleship because it looks like the deck of an aircraft carrier with a control tower on top. We're going to bust control tower there and then fly along the canyon wall of the north rim and hop over to the Kaibab National Forest on the north side of the canyon.
Oh wow, look at that. Wow, that's spectacular.
Yeah.
When she was just a girl, she expected the world, but it flew away from her reach, so she ran away in a
Yeah, one of my favorite shots to the right with Mount Hayden and Point Imperial. In that saddle that they make, you can see a red cliff face there off in the distance called the Vermilion Cliffs. It's a really good picture there.
every time she closed her eyes. When she was just a girl, she expected the world, but it flew away from her reach, and the bullets catching her teeth. Life goes on, it gets so heavy, the wheel breaks the butterfly. Every
So now we're on the north rim. Immediately to our left is the widest part of the Grand Canyon, the Brian Angel Corridor. Right there, it's 18 miles rim to rim, or 28 kilometers rim to rim. That's the width of the canyon. The length of the canyon from the eastern boundary to the western boundary is 277 miles, which is about 446 kilometers. Pretty big.
Right.
Got a little bit of low clouds over there hanging up. That's all fog.
That's cool.
Oh yeah.
Getting a little rain, it looks like.
Yeah, just a little bit. The flight before that, we were flying the same route, and there was a pretty dark cell of a thunderstorm off to our right over there. You can see now that's kind of dissipated all that energy. It's now cooled, the temperature's down, which is why all that fog is forming over the trees.
Have any bear up around here?
Say what?
Any bears?
Any bears?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have bears. We have black bears on the north rim as well, but that's really about it. You know, nothing intense like a grizzly bear, Kodiak.
Yeah.
I mean, you get between a mama bear and their cubs, she's still gonna be pretty vicious, but you know,
Right.
they're not the biggest bears. They're very rarely seen. You know, like I say, if you see one, you got to count yourself lucky because they're very, very shy, and they know the flight paths that we fly, and they tend to stay away from our flight paths. When we go back to the Grand Canyon, is off to the left in what's called the Dragon Corridor. Got to use your imagination again, but that dome there you see to the left is the dragon's head. Drops down to its neck, then back up along the ridgeline, which is the dragon's back. then down a second time to its tail. We're going to join the Dragon from its tail, going from the north rim back over to the south rim.
Get some Game of Thrones music in
Yeah,
there.
just for the Dragon corridor. This part, when we're flying low over the trees, it kind of reminds me of the intro scene, you know, when the camera is going from place to place. We're flying besides the Dragon's Belly, which is that Sandwich Crater Wave rock to the right. That's the Coconino Sandstone, which y'all say is about 270 million years old. That rockway, like all the others, goes around the entire canyon, but north and south rim. The Kaibab Limestone, the youngest wave rock that I was telling you about earlier, that's the white rock on top of the Dragon's back there. If you just go deeper and deeper from there, the rock layers just get older and older and older. And you see there's a lot of gray streaks that go vertically up and down the Coconino Sandstone. We get a lot of snow here, well, not a lot, but we get snow here in the winter. We get about 12 feet worth of snow or 4 meters worth of snow that fall on the north rim. And in springtime, when that snow melts, water has nowhere to go but downhill, and it creates that, you know, those are pretty much the waterfalls, I guess, and the water trickling down the canyon wall of the Coconino Sandstone.
Okay.
Here's the neck of the Dragon leading up to its head. Another little nub sticking out to the left is its left ear. And beyond that, you'll see its mouth pointing towards the south rim.
I'm waking up to ash and dust. I wipe my brow and I sweat my rust. I'm breathing in the chemicals. I'm breaking in, shaping up,
Wow.
then checking out on the prison bus.
On the Dragon's mouth, you'll see two peaks sitting all by themselves. Those are named after two Chinese philosophers. One on the left there is the Mencius Temple. The one on the right is the Confucius Temple. This massive mesa here to the left is the Shiva Temple, named after the Hindu goddess of creation. Beyond it lie 4 more peaks and beaches named after Egyptian gods and goddesses. And where you guys were walking along the south rim is the 10 o'clock position right off the south rim there. That puts you right at eye level with all the peaks, buttes, mesas, and canyons within the Grand Canyon.
I suppose we're painted red to fit right in. Whoa. I'm breaking in, shaping up, then checking out on the prison bus. This is it, the apocalypse. Whoa, I'm waking up, I feel it in my bones, enough to make my system blow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. I'm radioactive.
We're going to cross over the Colorado River again, head towards the south rim. When we reach that, that'll mean our journey across the canyon will come to an end. So we want to take advantage of this time that we have left to take a few more pictures of the Grand Canyon, as well as a few canyon selfies too. Or you can put those on your Facebook and make all your friends jealous back home.
Straight from inside. Wake it up. Don't make my system blow. Welcome to the new age. To the new age. Welcome to the new age. To the new age.
The point off to our left called Hopi Point. H-O-P-I is how you spell that. I say a good place to watch the sunset over the Grand Canyon. You're going to stay around and watch the sunset tonight. Sunset itself's around 7:45 tonight, and you have to take a shuttle ride to get from the Grand Canyon Village over to Hopi Point. That's about a 20 to 25 minute shuttle ride, so you'll want to keep that in mind if you are going to watch the sunset tonight.
What are these mountains? What are these mountains you see over there?
Those are the San Franciscan Peaks. There's a really big one to the left there, which is Mount Humphreys. That's Arizona's tallest peak. It sits 12,600 feet above sea level, or 3,000 meters above sea. Or sorry, 12,600 feet. That's about 4,000 meters above sea level. That's actually Arizona's one and only ski resort. That also shocks a lot of people. Pretty much what happens is you drive about an hour and a half north of Phoenix, and you start to get away from the dry desert of Phoenix, and you start getting higher and higher in elevation. Phoenix elevates about 1,500 feet above sea level. Once you get up to Flagstaff, it's around 7,000 to 8,000 feet. So the temperature's a lot cooler up there at the base of that mountain, Flagstaff.
Where did you say you live?
I lived down in Phoenix.
I was telling Janice about the In-N-Out in Phoenix having AstroTurf around it.
About where? Around?
In-N-Out.
Oh, yeah.
Having AstroTurf.
A lot of restaurants do that just because it takes a lot of water to keep those plants green, or the grass green. I'm not sure if y'all drove around any of Scottsdale, but you'll notice all their golf courses are very lush green. If you drive around there around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you'll see them pumping tons of water out there just to keep it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it's kind of a waste, but that's just because I'm not a big golfer, so.
That's right. Yeah.
It's pretty baffling, but yeah, like you said, there's several restaurants that have like cornhole set up, and it's all AstroTurf out there. Right that way, the Grand came back over the south rim. Everybody enjoy their flight. Yeah.
Oh my God, it was wonderful.
Awesome. Maybe one more loop around the canyon, this time upside down to get a different viewpoint.
Okay, go for it.
Not today. Like I said, helicopter don't like that if we try to do some crazy maneuvers like that.
Funny you said that. In that Meg 29, they do a maneuver called the hammer. They just go straight up and then they cut the engines, just let you fall backward.
And then what, restart the engines?
And then they restart, yeah.
Oh, look at that.
When we go through training, we do some pretty fun maneuvers just because it's usually the pilot and the instructor pilot sitting next to you. So you got two people, you got a very light aircraft with a lot of power, allows you to do a lot of cool stuff. We practice a maneuver called an auto rotation, which is where we roll the engine down to idle. And as we descend through the air goes up through the rotor blades. It keeps them spinning very much like a windmill works. And so because of that, we're actually allowed to glide down to the ground. And there's tons of really cool stuff that you can do with that auto rotation. There's one where we roll the engine down to idle, just coming forward, slowed it down, started dropping, pedal turns where you're facing down the ground, get your airspeed up, and then come and flare. It's fun.
fun as long as you live through it, right?
Yeah, well, as long as you perform the maneuver properly, you'll be totally fine. Which we're all experienced pilots, so we can get away with doing something fun like that.
So how long did you say you've been flying?
5 years now.
5 years. How long have you been flying up here in the Grand Canyon?
It'll be 2 years for me.
Okay.
Pretty much, it took me about 1.5 years to get all my licenses. At the end, I was a commercially rated pilot and a certified flight instructor. I had about 200, 240 hours, so no one really hires anyone except the flight school. So I got hired at my flight school that I trained at, and I was a flight instructor there for about a few years. And then from there, I got enough flight time to where I could move on to this type of job. So this is kind of like a stepping stone in my career. Hopefully the next step will be doing aerial firefighting, flying a bigger helicopter with a bucket of water slung underneath it.
Oh,
Using that to put out fires all throughout the West here, because we're you know, states like Utah, California, Oregon, Colorado, Arizona, Nevada, you know, they get pretty crazy forest fires, and sometimes they get out of hand. You got to send in the heavy birds to take care of the fire. Soon I'm going to have to isolate myself from the conversation so I can make radar calls to Canyon Tower. During that time, I won't be able to hear your questions or comments. I won't be able to talk to you until we set down the ground. So if you have any questions, wait till we land. That's when I'll jump back into the conversation. Even though I'm isolated, y'all can still talk amongst yourselves, so there's nothing wrong with that. I do want to remind you all the ground crew and I will handle the doors for you, so y'all sit back and relax. When the blades above us come to complete stop, we'll get out and I'll grab your camera and take pictures y'all in front of the helicopter. Sound good?
that's good.
Right on. Well, I'm going to isolate myself. I will talk to you once we're on the ground. See you.
My love won't do you no harm, and I feel nice, that sugar and spice. I feel nice, that sugar and spice. So nice, I got you. When I hold you in my arms, I know that I can't do no wrong. And when I hold you in my arms, my love can't do me no harm. And I feel nice, like sugar and spice. I feel nice, like sugar and spice. So nice, that I got you. Wow, I feel good. I knew that I would not. I feel good. I knew that I would. So good, but I got you. So good, but I got you. So good, but I got you.
Thought I'd do it.
little bit bumpier